हो गया।
किसी टाइम गंगा जी की से आई कैसे हुआ सारा उनके बारे में
और थोड़ा ऊपर कर दो, एक किताब और लगा दो। राधे राधे। ये बड़ी लगाओ ना इसमें,
इतना तो सही है।
देखो
हम उसमें थर्सडे वाले में नहीं आते।
ठीक है।
थर्सडे नहीं आते।
पहले तो आप आ रहे थे।
चिन्मय का मतलब भगवान रूप होता है।
हाँ।
सेंटेंस था कि मीरा आखिर में चिन्मय रूप बन गई और प्रभु विग्रह में ही समा गई, उसमें ही। ठीक है। अगर छोटी सी एक खांसी है ना, एक कंठ सुधारक वटी होती है, वो जेल में रख लीजिए। 2 गोली, कई बार बोलने पे भी ना खांसी आ जाती है, तो 2 गोली चूस ली।
ठीक है, मेरे पास है उस तरीके की लाया नहीं।
हाँ जी,
है नहीं, कुछ खांसी है नहीं वैसे।
हाँ नहीं, आप थोड़ा सा खांसी है। आप सैर वगैरह करते हैं? बहुत अच्छा। कितने बजे?
5:05।
जिम में जितने हैं ना, वो 4 बार कर लीजिएगा। उससे old age euphoria. When you do exercise, you secrete a hormone called endorphin that cheers you up for the whole day. तो कई लोग आते हैं 90 साल के भी, जस्ट 2-4 बार करके चले जाते हैं। और मैं चिन्मय का थोड़ा मेरे माइंड में क्लैरिफिकेशन नहीं थी। मैं है ना राम सुखदास की भी साथ गीता पढ़ता हूँ, तो उसमें कई ऐसे शब्द आ जाते हैं, लेकिन आज 5 से 12 जो है ये बहुत अच्छा इसमें दिया है।
ये राम सुखदास की है।
हाँ जी,
ये राम सुखदास जी की है।
ये छोटी है, मेरी तो बहुत बड़ी है।
वो उनका बड़ा संकलन होगा।
हाँ जी, 1500 से ये सारी है जी, सारी इसमें है राम सुखदास जी।
राम सुखदास जी की ये गोयनका जी की है। राम सुखदास जी जो थे उन्हीं के साथ थे।
अच्छा जी। उसमें डिटेल वो कई बार एग्जाम्पल देता है, तो उससे काफी चीज क्लैरिफाई हो जाती है।
So last time
I got 10 done.
I've got 5 more here if you want. I'll keep it.
आज का जो है
आज का ये today's has been divided into two parts. Okay, so one is this thing from 706 onwards. Okay, 705 we still have to finish. About this.
वो निकला होता है मतलब आज थोड़ा दिन था तो अभी वो राउंड अबाउट बोलते हैं दे आर नॉट गिविंग ए डायरेक्ट आंसर उसके बाद आज and last year 13 for this time also it is around 8 This was one of tough paper, especially physics. और क्या हुआ है कि इंदौर सेंटर में लाइट चली गई वहाँ के लोग स्कूल को ढूंढते वहाँ के बच्चे हमारे सरकारी सर्विस में टाइम नहीं मिला we do for the rest of India was not ready for it. This is a very big job. उसी के उनमें लेट होता था कहते थोड़ा खुशी कुछ नहीं आया पता नहीं अब क्या डिसीजन लेता है और आ जाता है कि शायद कल डिसीजन आ जाएगा हमारा सबको जितना रिलैक्स करते हैं आप जो भी बजे आते हैं One to 9 to 10. 1 to 5. Thank you, dear. Give me one, please.
Then you shared me. You have. Okay. These are all extra copies.
Some of it. 6 to 9. Or I can open the 6 to 9 beyond that. No, but we didn't get we got only this sheet. Thank you. Now, 6, 7, 6, 7. I get extra. I could notice when you look like one. Even I would be.
So we'll start. So there's some chairs which are empty here. If you'd like to come. So we started this chapter after looking at how to perform ध्यान in the previous chapter. Right? ध्यान कैसे किया जाएगा, तो उसके लिए एकाग्रता चाहिए, और एकाग्रता के लिए हमको क्या प्रैक्टिस करना है, आसक्ति रहित कर्म, और उसके साथ साथ हमें ये सब एक ही आत्मा है, ये धीरे धीरे सब चीजों में देखने का अभ्यास करना है. तो उसको अभ्यास योग कहा गया था पिछले चैप्टर. यहाँ पर पहले ही श्लोक के अंदर उन्होंने कहा कि ये ध्यान तब हो पाएगा जब मदासक्त, मेरे में ही आसक्त होंगे तुम, और जब मेरे में ही मदाश्रय होंगे. पहला श्लोक उन्होंने कहा. फिर उन्होंने उसके बाद में बताया कि ये जो ज्ञान है ये बहुत कठिन है, बहुत ही दुष्कर, मतलब बहुत कुछ लोगों को नहीं मिलता है और बहुत मुश्किल से मिलता है. तो उसके बाद में उन्होंने कहा कि ये जो ज्ञान है ये किस प्रकार का है, उसको समझाने के लिए उन्होंने कहा कि टू अंडरस्टैंड हु आई एम, ये मत, मैं कौन हूँ, उसको समझने के लिए ये आवश्यक है कि मैं, ये प्रकृति क्या है, ये सब चीज़ क्या है, जो संसार है क्या है. ठीक है. तो उस पर हम चौथे श्लोक पर हमने लास्ट टाइम पढ़ा. ठीक है. तो उन्होंने कहा ये प्रकृति जो है ये 8 प्रकार से विभक्त है, मतलब 8 प्रकार से अष्टधा है, मतलब इट इज सेपरेटेड इनटू 8 एस्पेक्ट्स, 8 things. Okay. 5 of these are perceptions of the senses, which is in the nature of the smell, the taste, the flavor, that is, the sight, light in the sight, and so on and so forth. And 3 of them are man, buddhi, and ahankar. Right? And we were looking at certain aspects of it, in certain detail, and finally we looked at what does Vedanta say. So what does Vedanta say in terms of sequencing? I'll read that so that it just sort of revises everybody's understanding, and then we can move to the next one. First, there is Brahman. Then through ignorance, avidya, comes the unmanifested. This unmanifested meaning that form of nature which has three gunas. Unmanifested also means अव्यक्त, जो व्यक्त नहीं है. हम जो देख रहे हैं वो व्यक्त है. पहले अव्यक्त प्रकृति उत्पन्न होती है और उसके पश्चात जो है उसमें तीन गुण उत्पन्न होते हैं. त्रिगुण आत्मिका बोलते हैं, सत्व रजस तम. और वो तीन गुणों के साथ जो है एक महत्त्व उत्पन्न होता है, एक अवेयरनेस उत्पन्न होती है. वो जो महत्त्व है वो बुद्धि का कारण है. फ्रॉम दैट महत्त्व द अहम तत्व इज बॉर्न. दिस अहम तत्व इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड अहंकार. तो अवेयरनेस के बाद में अहंकार, और अहंकार जो है वो इस प्रकार से प्रकृति से उत्पन्न होता है, और इसी तरह से महत्त्व से जो है बुद्धि भी उत्पन्न होती है. मन जो है वो संकल्प विकल्पात्मक स्थिति है, और बुद्धि जो है निश्चयात्मक बुद्धि है, जिसके अंदर कंफर्मेशन में जो स्थित है वो बुद्धि है. अब we'll start with the shloka number 5. Right? 705. Somebody would like to read it aloud? Yeah.
This above mentioned my Prakriti is apara, the one which is not beyond, but it is inferior, nikrisht, impure, ashud, and causes harm, anarth, and is in the form of worldly bondage.
Okay.
And
So first thing he says is that जो प्रकृति है जो अविद्या जनित है, जो हमने अव्यक्त अभी सुना था, ये जो प्रकृति है ये अपरा है. It is right in front of us. This is a manifested व्यक्त प्रकृति. अपरा जो व्यक्त प्रकृति है, that which is not beyond. But this प्रकृति is consisting of all the 5 elements. इस एलिमेंट्स के अंदर कुछ दोष है, कुछ ठीक है, कुछ ठीक नहीं है. उस प्रकार से ये इंफीरियर है, हर समय शुद्ध नहीं होती है प्रकृति जो है. इसके जो तत्व हैं, इसके जो एलिमेंट्स हैं, इसके अंदर जो परसेप्शंस हैं, इसके अंदर जो हमारे सेंसेस हैं, ये दोनों तरह से ऑपरेट करते हैं. राइट? दे आर परफॉर्मिंग इन द मैनर ऑफ ईदर गुड और बैड, और इन द गुणास ऑफ सत्व रज एंड तम, व्हिच हैज बीन गिवन अर्लियर. ठीक है, ये सब चीजें तीनों गुणों से प्रभावित होती हैं, इसलिए इनको निकृष्ट, इम्प्योर, अशुद्ध और अनर्थ कहा जाता है कि ये हार्मफुल होती हैं. दे लीड टू ऑल द डिजायर्स एंड द डिल्यूजन व्हिच वी टॉक अबाउट. या वील गो फॉरवर्ड.
And a Mahabahu, in this above mentioned Prakriti, the other Prakriti, which is the knower, Kshetragya, which is the basis of those living, which is inside each being, due to which this entire world is being held, understand that to be also my Prakriti, which is beyond, Para. Meaning, know it as mine in the form of Atman, supreme and pure Prakriti nature.
So the second aspect is that of para. अपरा तो हमने अपने बाहर देखा, और मन के अंदर मन बुद्धि अहंकार में देखा, ठीक है। और उससे परे जो चीज है उसको परा बोला, that which is beyond all that which we have just understood as the अव्यक्त प्रकृति and the व्यक्त प्रकृति, उससे भी परे जो है वो परा प्रकृति है। वो क्या है? That is दृष्टा, that is something which sees, knower which knows, okay। knower को क्षेत्रज्ञ भी कहते हैं, okay। that which is known is क्षेत्र, that which is the knower is क्षेत्रज्ञ, okay। These two words will be used again and again to differentiate between the two natures, the two types of aspects which are manifested by the ईश्वर। जो ईश्वर है वही ये दोनों चीजों को देता है, ठीक है, ही उत्पन्न करता है। वो किस प्रकार से उत्पन्न करता है वो आगे हम पढ़ेंगे ही, पर यहाँ पर ये आवश्यक है समझना, परा प्रकृति है that which is beyond, and it is in the nature of the knower, it is the basis on which everything is living, which is inside every being। जो क्षेत्रज्ञ है, जो knower है, that which is that ultimate is inside every being, due to which this entire world is being held। जो स्थित है ये सारा का सारा संसार, उसके कारण ये स्थित है। इसको भी तुम मेरी ही प्रकृति, मेरी ही एक प्रक्रिया समझो, which is beyond। Know this to be mine, it is mine। It is in the form of Atma, Paramatma, supreme, pure Prakriti, okay। So we saw in the chart at the top, ये सब नाम लिखे हुए थे, आत्मा, परमात्मा, भगवान, ईश्वर, सब लिखा हुआ था, ठीक है। वो परा प्रकृति में आता है, ठीक है। जैसे हम अहंकार और उसके नीचे पहुंचते हैं सब चीजों के अंदर, वो सब चीजें जो अहंकार जनित हैं, जो प्रकृति जनित हैं, अव्यक्त प्रकृति जनित हैं, वो सब अपरा में आता है। सो वी हैव डिवाइडेड, वी सॉ अपरा प्रकृति टू बी eightfold, right? And this para prakriti as defined as kshetragya, that which is beyond, which is in everything, right? And that which is the cause of everything, and it is in the form of Atma, Paramatma, Supreme, etc., etc. Okay? Okay?
So is there a reason like para is beyond but is actually inside? Para is like, so you are calling it in front of you. The contrast is para is like beyond, but
It is the knower.
yeah, but it's in. That is, we are calling it beyond.
Yeah, but para is in that sense beyond our senses, beyond the eight, okay? Beyond the prakriti, both vyakt and avyakt. Okay?
And apara is what we see outside.
Yeah,
The ego, the
everything.
Combined.
Which is divided into 8 parts. Those 8 parts have been,
Five senses. Five senses.
yeah, 5 sense perceptions.
perception.
Okay? Now we have to understand something more. Now, what are we trying to understand? We're trying to understand who is that Vasudeva. Okay, let's not lose that, okay? Because that is very important. That's what he started the chapter with. उसको समझने के लिए उन्होंने कहा एक परा प्रकृति है और एक अपरा प्रकृति है, ठीक है? ठीक है? We'll go to shloka number 6. This is in the sheet which has been shared today in a physical format, but it was sent out in the electronic format last time as well, because we had sent that out as shlokas number 1 to 9. So it contained shloka number 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. We did not distribute those sheets last time because what happens, the next time some new people come, then we run short of sheets. So we said we'll distribute it when we start the session. So similarly, 10, 11, 12 have been sent out electronically, but we have the physical copies, which we'll share as soon as we get to shloka number 10. So this simple principle we'll follow so that you don't get confused. Okay? Right? So we'll try and see if we can go to shloka number 12, but if we are not able to, then we'll again distribute that accordingly. Okay. So we now go to shloka number 6 of chapter number 7. Yeah, please read.
This Kshetra and Kshetragya form both Apara and Para Prakriti.
Okay, so we'll just hold this. So we have understood the term Kshetra. Kshetra is apara. Kshetra is that which is the field. Why is it called the field? It is called the field because जैसे खेती होती है तो उसके अंदर कुछ अन्न उत्पन्न होता है, उसमें हम यहाँ कुछ कर्म करते हैं तो उसके अंदर से कुछ निकलता है. ठीक है, तो ये कर्म क्षेत्र है. हम कर्म करते हैं ना, कर्म क्षेत्र है. यहाँ जो भी कर्म करते हैं उसका कुछ फल निकलता है. इसी तरह से जो खेती होती है उसमें कुछ फल निकलता है, कुछ हम डालते हैं तो कुछ फल निकलता है, इसलिए उसको क्षेत्र बोलते हैं. और क्षेत्र को जानने वाला क्षेत्रज्ञ हो गया. ठीक है, नोअर एंड दैट विच इज नोन. सो बार बार ये शब्द आएंगे, इसलिए मैं उनको एक बारी समझाने के लिए. ठीक है, ये जो कंफ्यूजन है परा अपरा वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूज हो जाता है, इसके लिए क्षेत्र और क्षेत्रज्ञ में हम लोग शिफ्ट करते हैं. ठीक है, राइट. ये परा और अपरा प्रकृति, आगे बढ़िए.
Both Apara and Para Prakriti is the womb or the cause of all beings. Know that all beings have taken birth with this nature, Prakriti, as the reason.
Okay. Okay. So here he is categorically saying that this para prakriti and the apara prakriti both are the reason for the birth of this body. Anybody can explain this to me?
एक कर्म करने के लिए पैदा हुए हैं, कर्म और अपने आप को जानने के लिए.
ये किस प्रकार से जन्म उत्पन्न होता है, जन्म होता है थ्रू परा एंड अपरा प्रकृति. क्षेत्र और क्षेत्रज्ञ के द्वारा किस प्रकार से उत्पन्न होता है. तो हम जाएंगे वापस अपरोक्ष अनुभूति पे, तो वहां से कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेके आते हैं. कैन समबडी स्टिल गेट डाउन टू एक्सप्लेनिंग इट नाउ?
Ignorance. So because of ignorance, there is desire, distraction, and so it leads to various thoughts. Actually, like the example of that rope.
Correct.
So because of that, and underlying, of course, the essence is the Atma.
Right.
But because of ignorance, we are deluded, and
So how do you relate that to here?
so para prakriti is the
Basis?
Atma, the basis, and apara prakriti is the ignorance
Correct.
from which all this is arising.
Exactly. Right? So let's understand this. Okay, so there we understood ये किस प्रकार से उत्पन्न हुआ है. हमने वहां समझा कि ये अज्ञान द्वारा उत्पन्न हुआ है. तो हमने अब यहाँ पर पढ़ा कि अज्ञान कब हुआ, जब अव्यक्त प्रकृति में हमारे को अवेयरनेस हुई, प्रकृति जो है, ये जो प्रकृति है ये इग्नोरेंस द्वारा ही उत्पन्न हुई है, तो इसका जो मैनिफेस्टेशन अहंकार है वो भी इग्नोरेंस ही है, राइट? तो ये जो प्रकृति है ये इग्नोरेंस द्वारा हमें उत्पन्न करती है, हमारी इग्नोरेंस द्वारा उसमें हम उत्पन्न होते हैं। अभी और इसमें डिटेल में आराम से समझेंगे धीरे धीरे। अभी just stay with the concept of ignorance. Okay? So through our ignorance and consequent desire, we are manifesting this world. The world is manifested because of our ignorance and desire. But what is the upadan karan, जो हमने हिंदी में पढ़ा? What is the material cause of this? The material cause of this is Paramatma, Atma, that which is Satchidanand Swarup, Avinashi, Nitya, Brahma. We read that, right? So that is the basis on which this has come into existence. Right, Raji?
Sorry,
You lost me
I
somewhere.
yeah. But what I'm hearing is that it was Advaita which became Dvaita and then goes back to become Advaita.
Correct. That is also true. But
So when it becomes Dvaita, that's when we are talking about all this happening.
correct. How does Dvait happen?
You're saying it comes from the womb.
Dvait only happens through
So that the ignorance and
through ignorance only.
yeah, exactly.
Correct.
Where does ignorance come from?
It comes from the same source. No?
So the higher level of Prakriti is creating a
Lower
lower
level
of
of
Prakriti.
yeah.
Why?
अव्यक्त से व्यक्त उत्पन्न होता है, किसके द्वारा? इच्छा के द्वारा. Okay, so that is why I said we'll come to this slowly. Okay, so we are now looking at the first aspect of Brahma. Through his Maya Shakti, he creates this avyakt Prakriti.
Yeah, but what Rahul is asking is why this Maya? Why this upper, the nature of the upper?
No, why is the Maya?
Huh?
Why is he Maya?
Why this Maya?
Which is said that Brahma said that he wishes to create through his wish. So through his own Shakti, which is really what we have read in the first page of Gita when we started, right? That's why we read that first. Okay, the first page says through his Maya Shakti, he created two types of Prakritis. There itself it is said. Ek Nivritti Roop, ek Pravritti Roop. Pravritti Roop is the one in which action takes place, and Nivritti Roop is the one in which there is no action. We remember that, right?
But here it seems to be suggested that the inferior part is also part of Prakriti.
Yeah, that's what I am also reading.
Which part?
Kshetra form and Kshetriya form,
Yeah.
both upper and par, is the womb of the cause of all things.
Correct.
So there is an acknowledgement, seemingly over here, that both the inferior and the superior are part of me.
Yes.
And that is said in the next sentence also.
Yes. Yes. So
If the inferior is part of me, then it is not Maya or
no, it is the cause of me. Okay. So I have been born both by the combination of para and apara. Correct? That is clear? So the question is, how did we take birth as a consequence of both para and apara? Okay. Para, because it is the basis of everything. It is Adhishthan Roop, right? And apara, because that is the route through which the Abhyakt Prakriti has manifested itself into Vyakt Prakriti. Right? And we got all the Hankar, all the Buddhi, Man, Sharir, everything coming into place.
Isn't it that
Rahul's point was that the genesis of this Man, Buddhi, Ankar is the same,
It's from the same womb.
same womb.
The womb has been created by Brahma
Yeah.
because he wanted
He said
to.
here
I'm
that
sorry?
Both upper and Prakriti is the womb.
No.
Both are as per this line here.
So no,
And then it's underlined.
no, I have underlined it.
All beings have taken birth.
So let's understand first. Okay, so a combination of para and apara is leading to the birth, right? Okay.
Is
Now
leading
to the birth
birth of what?
of the body of this universe.
That's
The
fine.
manifestation.
That's part of apara.
It is part of apara, but that apara has also been born out of.
It's a combination of apara and para.
Yeah. So now we are on the right line, right? Yeah. So let's start again.
Sir, can we say that Kshetragya is the बीज और क्षेत्र is the form और वृक्ष के पैदा होने के लिए बीज फॉर्म में लगा तब वृक्ष बन गया
नहीं ठीक है, आप अभी पहले समझ लें जो वहां का प्रश्न है, पहले वो समझ लें, ठीक है? उसको हम राहुल Rahul? Yeah, because I think I'll move on otherwise, and we can take it outside also, there's no problem. But let's start. Okay, so Brahma is there. Through his Maya Shakti, he creates the Avyakt Prakriti. Through the gunas in the Avyakt Prakriti, all the manifested Vyakt Prakriti is created. Okay, so one of the elements of that Vyakt Prakriti is all the 5 elements: water, he, water. This अव्यक्त से व्यक्त प्रकृति बनी और इन एलिमेंट्स से जो है हमारा शरीर बना. उस शरीर के अंदर अहंकार रूपी एलिमेंट comes in through the process of this prakriti, which is ignorance by itself. Okay, that prakriti with these senses which are there in the body creates our entire body and creates this entire universe. Okay, so there are texts in this which I can refer you to, and you can go down into details.
I think here the small fill in the blank that's required is in the first line of 704 notes in Vedanta. You see, first there is Brahma, then through ignorance. How do we move from Brahman to ignorance? That is the fill in the blank.
That is what has been said in the past. Why it has not been written here is through his Maya Shakti.
That is the means.
Correct. Through my Maya Shakti is what he says. Which will be repeated again and again. So it's not an issue here just now. Okay.
So जो अहंकार है वो भी ब्रह्मा ने पैदा किया था.
Sequential हो गया. As per this.
एक प्रकार से जो है ब्रह्मा ही उसका अधिष्ठान है, मतलब उसका बेसिस है. ठीक. और एक प्रकार से वो प्रकृति के अंदर से लीनिएज उसकी वहां से पकड़ी जाती है. प्रकृति which is arisen out of ignorance.
Whose ignorance? Whose ignorance?
Who is ignorant?
I am creator of Brahma. So how could I be ignorant? How could anything be wrong?
Because he has created this Maya Shakti से this Prakriti which is carrying that ignorance, and you are part of that ignorance.
So has he deliberately done it?
Yes,
Observe us and
yes,
like you watch a drama.
That's what you're asking.
yes.
You're also asking that.
It is. If we go back to chapter 4, no 5, where he says that first I created the sun, then I created Ishvaku, the son of sun, and after that I created these munis and so on and so forth. Over many centuries, slowly these people started having desires. When desires overtook the righteousness, then became a problem, and I came down with bringing all these shastras. Okay?
जो ओरिजिनल डिजायर है उन्होंने तो पैदा किया था.
Nee. Original desire has come through the lineage of many millions of or eons, decades, लोकों से पहले, कई लोकों के पहले धीरे धीरे वो बढ़ता चला गया.
So, when the manifested form took place, the basic ingredients were there, which need not have led to ignorance and ankar, but gradually over a period
Correct.
of time.
So now we'll read that here.
But he
And
washed his hands of it.
no, we'll come back to that
He said
also.
somebody else did it.
No,
I created.
no, we created the raw material,
Over the period.
Correct.
we
But
use that raw material.
Yeah, so Rahul and people at the back, we'll carry on. You will find the answers in subsequent paragraphs right here. Okay? And why is this word no which has been put here with underline?
The one thought that comes to the mind is that he spread the word through Manu or whoever, and then through the generations it went through various people. And there is this phrase that you have in English that it says power corrupts, and then what happens when you have absolute power. These are the people who had knowledge, therefore they had some form of power, and that's how the desires and whatever, etc., evolved over the years. That's one way of looking at it. But moving away just for the sake
So
of
that
discussion.
power itself would be ankar.
Yeah, that's what it is. Once you get knowledge exclusive, once you create a class which is exclusive,
Then you get ankar, and that's where everything went awry.
I mean, that's when comes
Yeah.
this thing up there.
Yeah.
Everybody else is below, they are inferior.
I think you will find as you go along clarity in your own mind about this aspect. Okay? So we'll go forward because
One thing I was about to mention, sorry, just take a minute. This is the Vedanta side that we're talking about, in the sense that this is the Advaita. There is the counterposing argument about Dvaita. Now, does it help us to understand what Dvaita is, to understand the Advaita concept better?
so what are we reading just now?
You're moving somewhere in between.
No, we are talking about Dvaita alone.
Yeah, but the question is that here in this paragraph, we
So
clearly given one part.
when we are moving,
One side of the.
no, I think you're not watching it carefully. We are looking at Dvaita, right through from this chapter.
Is that clear to everybody in the room?
Yeah. Because as soon as you say that mat par, okay, mad ashray, okay, then it is two.
Actually, I think this chapter is becoming a bit confusing because of the Hindi terms have increased.
It is not.
I'm not able to.
So what is? So let's understand mad ashray. Mad is me, ashray is shelter. Okay, right? Madasakt. Mad, me, asakt is attachment. Right? Now, this has been said many times over, that's why I don't repeat it, and I find it very concise to use a word madashray and madasakt because it is simple. Be attached only to me is madasakt. Be attached or be under my shelter or be dependent only on me is madashray. Okay. Now, what does that mean? There are two. You are there who has to be dependent only on me. You are there who has to be only attached to me. Does that clarify everything? Bhakti is all about two. Okay. Karma is also about two. But simultaneously, as we are doing bhakti, we look at Dvait, we try and go back and see how does it connect to Advait. Okay. Now, I have purposely in that shloka number 4 at the end of it in the note which is italicized, written that paragraph only for the purpose of Advait. It need not have been written. It is not there as part of the flow, as Adi Shankaracharya has written. Okay? Because embedded in the thought which Adi Shankaracharya is taking you through is that thought which we need to clarify on the Advait side also. Are you getting the point? Now, therefore, we look at Dvait and then we try and see how does it fit. Is it true in the Advait form as well? Now, let's understand that the manifestation of Vasudeva is from Brahma. So it is a manifested space. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong? It's clear? Right? Now in that manifested form of Vasudeva, there are two. The basis of these two is the same Brahma. Any god which I now bring forth in front of me, whether it is Shiva, Hanuman, any of the 3,000, 30,000, 3 lakh, 3 million deities which we may have in our pantheon of gods, ये सब के सब जो हैं manifested है. Manifested in which way? Okay. And how they are going to help us? Because that which we believe in, he is saying in the previous, or he'll say it now, I take care of all that which has to be done by these gods. And all that which you need to get through these gods will come to you through them, because I will give them to you. Now that is the manifested God. Whether he is Vasudeva or he is some Bhagwan, we are not going to contest at this moment. Okay? We are just saying that he is Vasudeva for the moment. Because then he is moving into the space and calling himself Vishnu. Right? So there is a Vishnu which is, let's say, the supreme most, and Vasudeva is an incarnation of Vishnu. Okay, so we are not delving too much into that space. Okay, but we are delving into the space that there is a manifested form aspect of the Nirgun. So there is a Nirgun which we understand, and there is a Sagun which is a manifested, which has got all the gunas. Right? That's why we use the term Nirgun and Sagun early enough so that we don't get caught up with various concepts. Now is it clear? Is it clear?
So Rahul's question still is why.
Why? Because it is said, Rahul,
doesn't want to put his name.
It is,
Broad shoulders.
so it is said in the Vedas that through his power, for the purposes which is he has understood, and we have left that to him. Okay, and we leave that to him till we get into some other space to understand it. Okay, it's constantly being said that way. The why he did it and for what purpose is clear, but why he did it, sometimes the purpose is also not clear. Okay,
We don't know the purpose. How can we know his purpose? I can only say that for his own entertainment, like a playwright. Honest, no, he produces a play, and if it's only a hero, then the play would be very uninteresting. So he creates a villain also. So then between the interaction, वो एक storyline बन जाती है. So this is what he's doing for us. So he is having very entertaining show. All the foibles and
Yeah, in
But there's a
physics,
message
physics
for
also
making
goes there. It says
before
it's
the
actually a
probably.
video game.
That's what they're saying.
And in video games, these characters have been there.
वीडियो गेम हो प्ले हो
हाँ, एक ही बात है।
मैं पुराने जमाने की हूँ तो मैं play
No,
करती
the
थी।
same thing.
Shakespeare is
Same
very
thing.
good.
But it's gradually these characters.
so if you follow this thought, so if you follow this thought, then at least treat yourself as an actor.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right. So just stay with that.
Yeah.
I am not denying that space to anyone.
Either actor or an audience.
No, I'm an actor,
We are all actors.
and my duty is to perform my role as best as I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
आसक्ति रहित करो. आसक्ति रहित करो. My duty.
Yeah, there is lots more to it. She's not saying it. Huh? So is that okay? Is that okay? That you're just an actor?
Since I have no other explanation for it, I have to accept it.
So now you're an actor.
So what about पुनर्जन्म?
Yeah, we are coming.
तो इसके
we are-
कर्मा का जो फल है वो तो अगले जन्म में भुगतना पड़ता है ना, या जो अभी भुगत रहे हैं वो पिछले जन्म में.
So we have to take one one logic at a time and try and close that. Okay. So you're an actor.
Yes.
The person who's written the play, why did he write it? One second, please.
Yes.
Please, 1 second. You allow me to speak or you speak?
Okay.
Let me have you speak first.
नहीं आप बोलो.
नहीं आप बोलो अभी मेरे को आपने डिस्टर्ब किया आप बोलो मेरी थॉट तो ब्रेक हो गई.
Director वही है, playwright वही है, so he has to create characters for the play to function. So we are all the characters of his play. And play को interesting बनाने के लिए कोई villain भी चाहिए, कोई hero भी चाहिए, सब तरह के लोग चाहिए. तो वो हम हैं सब तरह के, but हमें अपने ऊपर कोई control ही नहीं है. बनाया तो उसने है. मेरे दिमाग में जो faults हैं, vices हैं, उन्होंने ही create किए हैं. So I am a helpless creature. Okay. So if I realize I'm helpless and I can only be submissive and humble, that's all I can do.
So there is a director. There is a playwright. Okay. So why has he created this play?
For his own entertainment.
No, he is not the. He knows it. He doesn't need to create anything as this play.
He did it because he wanted to watch us.
No. He is not interested in that. He is not interested. You are an actor. Let's start with that. You acted in a previous play.
Yes.
Okay. You wanted to act again.
He gets bored of one play, so
No,
he creates
that's a-
birth after birth.
That was a separate director. Okay. That's a separate play. This is a different play.
Yeah.
You chose because you took a part in one play. Now you want to play
No,
another part.
Let me correct you. I did not choose anything. My role was given to me.
Okay. Now we are getting to
I
something
didn't
more interesting.
choose.
Huh?
I
Very
didn't
interesting.
choose my parents. I didn't choose my family. I didn't choose so many things.
Okay.
It was thrust upon me by the director.
Okay. So you chose to come into this
Did
particular
I
room.
choose? I didn't choose.
1 minute.
Huh.
Did you choose to come to this particular room?
To this room. Yes.
To this room. I thought maybe it will clarify something in my brain.
You
So I
chose
did.
or you did not? Let's start with that.
Yeah, I did. I could
Right?
not come.
Did you choose to eat a roti at lunch or no? No, please understand.
Huh.
Did you choose to have roti at lunch or no?
Yeah, that was all I was there.
Yeah.
I would choose something
You-
better maybe.
No, so in that way, you choose to take steps. Okay, the steps can be having certain consequences because we live in a space of cause and effect. If you eat less, you lose weight, you will fall ill. If you eat right, you will become better in terms of your health and you'll have more energy. Cause and effect. So we are living in the space of cause and effect. Okay, so if you're doing something, there is a cause, only then you will do something. You have thought, maybe I'll gain something if I come into this. Maybe I should not waste my time there. I might as well come in. Okay? So there is some thought which you have. That thought is preceded by another thought.
By another thought.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, I want to improve myself. Something which I don't know in life, I want to go and understand it.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a preceding thought. Preceding thoughts के पहले भी कोई preceding thought. So there is a chain of cause and effects which get built. Right? This chain of cause and effects leads to that transmigratory life. Is that okay?
No, it does.
No, but let's see with this first, okay? 1 second.
Can I say something?
So, no, please. 1 second, okay? Because you will divert me. This transmigratory life means that every action which you're doing has an effect. The responsibility of that action is yours. Nobody else's. Please understand. Just now you decided to have one roti.
No, see,
Please stay with it.
you're not letting me.
No, I will speak. Because I allowed you to speak. Okay.
Okay.
Now you had one roti. The effect of that is something. That cause and effect is going on. Right? So if you say that I am not responsible for the karma which I do,
But who am I?
that is what you are figuring out. And I'll come to that separately. Okay. First you understand that you are the cause of your existence. Right, good, bad, whatever. And you're responsible. If you think you're not responsible, then there's no existence for you. To just say that everything is left, everything is happening, I'm nobody, I don't think you are talking anything which is of any interest.
See, आपने कहा I am responsible. Okay, if I have a bad temper and I say things which I'm not supposed to and I make enemies, who gave me that bad temper? Why did he not give me a very sweet temper?
So if you allow that question to come and to be answered, and we have answered that in the past. It's not that it's not been answered because Gita says and gives you all that. Right? But if you are going to stay with it and not understand that you're responsible for your own actions, then it's a different story.
I'm trying to get it.
So please, first, we have all led our lives up to this stage of being responsible for our own actions. Am I right or wrong? You cannot transfer that responsibility to your parents, to anybody.
But Manju, I think what you're trying to say is that how did this world start to begin with? It's the genesis which you're talking about, right? What we are doing now is we are on the path, and therefore that rebirth. But what happened right at the start? When did our souls first take birth? I think that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, so
Who
you
set
will,
up that first thing?
if you allow this Gita to continue with Bhagwan telling you, it will be better. That's all I'm saying. I can certainly give you the entire story.
So for our peace of mind, it's better just to have faith and say, well,
No,
thy will be
it
done.
is for your peace of mind, you have to have that inquiry, which is what you have to follow to to make yourself understand yourself.
The inquiry makes me very confused and upset.
So, upset. No, there's no need to be upset. Because you are making an inquiry.
Maybe we should write these queries just next to the shloka and we'll get answered later on.
That will also be there. I can also answer today.
Yeah,
But
you do
it is better to go sequentially with what Krishna is saying. Okay, and I am not really taking the role of somebody who has to answer all the questions.
It's not very
I think-
difficult. Bhagwan is all good. He cannot do anything bad or anything wrong. How could he create an imperfect world? How could he create imperfect beings? All
So
of us?
we'll answer that in the next 4 shlokas.
Okay.
Give me that much time, right? Okay, or 5 shlokas. Okay, right? Yeah, Rahul.
We're kind of going around in circles on this in the same spot right now. So maybe it will come up later. But I just wanted to make 2 statements. We need not discuss it now. One is if we follow the analogy given of the script writer, then the logic would be that a script is already given to me. It may not be printed on a piece of paper or be on a hard disk or be anywhere. But whatever I am doing is based upon the script given to me by my puppet master, call him playwright, call him director, call him whatever. Him for gender. That's one. And the other comment I wanted to make is
Can I
that
add something you said and she said? Even if I'm an actor who's written the script of that, it is within me to be a good actor or a bad actor. So there is,
so you are saying I can follow the script or I cannot follow the script.
no, even if I follow the script, I can do it diligently, do a great job, or I can do a poor job. Meaning my role is there in life.
My role is there.
My duty is there. I can do it for like he's telling Arjun to do, or I won't do it.
Yes,
I'm still an actor, but
Sir,
yes,
can I
I
say
didn't
something?
want to get into the
We're
discussion.
talking about
No,
Para.
No, one second. Let's have one discussion.
Because if you take the example of the roti for lunch, it's in the script. No, I can eat it well or not. That's up to me, following your part.
no.
But it's in the
Script is you.
So let's just
You
leave it
eat.
there.
Now eat more or less or roti or rice up to you.
Again, I didn't have a choice. If there was a pizza, I would have preferred it.
The other point I just wanted to make is that this question that you mentioned, cause and effect. So there is a cause which led to ignorance coming up. That is the fill in the blank that I'm coming back to. The effect is the creation of ignorance, but the cause, the trigger may be Brahma coming in, etc. But then that is the bridge I'm kind of struggling with. That how did Brahma lead to the creation of ignorance? What was the cause and effect? If I can just make it concise.
Yes. I got that. Yeah.
We can come back to
I was saying
that.
like para and अपरा we are talking about. para is जैसे विवेक जो हम बात करते हैं, हमारे दोनों चीजें हमारे अंदर ही है. para जो विवेक है, अपरा जो अहंकार और ईगो और ये सब चीजें चलती हैं. तो para विवेक से जब हम उसका एनालिसिस करके डिसीजन लेकर आगे बढ़ते हैं, तो उसका जो इफेक्ट है वो हमारे साथ ही आना है, हमारे ऊपर ही आना है. तो वो जो बर्थ और रीबर्थ, वो मीन्स बर्थ और रीबर्थ, लाइक अल्टीमेटली एवरीबॉडी इज ट्राइंग टू गो टुवर्ड्स मोक्ष. यदि मेरे एनालिटिक्स से ये इतना हो गया कि मुझे मोक्ष मिल गया, तब तो मैं वो मोर रीबर्थ में नहीं जा रही, जो समझ में आ रहा है. यदि वो बैलेंस आउट नहीं हुआ है, तो अगेन दैट इज क्रिएटेड फॉर रीबर्थ. दिस आई अंडरस्टैंड.
Yeah.
And also, whatever the spiritual knowledge and strength which we have gathered in this life, it will help us in the next life to go even further on that path.
Yeah.
I think that
That is also there. That is also there.
तो जो विलेन क्रिएशन या जो गुड पर्सन क्रिएशन, हीरो क्रिएशन इन द जो हम नाटक की बात कर रहे हैं, प्ले की बात कर रहे हैं, दैट इज ऑल द रिजल्ट ऑफ विवेक से जो हमने परा से एनालिसिस करके अपने ही जो एक्शंस लिए, उसी एक्शन से या तो मैं हीरो बन गया अगले जन्म में या उसमें, या मैं विलेन बन गया और मुझे वही पार्ट करना है. फिर
और बेटर करना है तो अगेन वो दिमाग लगा के जो हो रहा है।
जो आगे आप पढ़ेंगे इसमें वो यही है कि जो हम अपना एनिमी भी क्रिएट करते हैं। आगे क्या भी पढ़ा था हमने, आई एम माई ओन फ्रेंड एंड आई एम माई ओन एनिमी. So I'm creating my own enemy also. How do I create my own enemy?
Anger,
Without
dissatisfaction.
control on my senses, right? And how do I create my own friend if I have control on my senses? So how do I control? How do I create that enemy? Is also that I have become, let's say, angry with somebody. That person, because he sees that anger, he becomes my enemy. So through the lack of control of my own senses, I have created other people around me, okay, who are now becoming against me. Okay, without understanding as to how I am able to manage my senses and react and respond, I have also created other people who are now going to be my enemy. So it's right there. We have just read it in the previous chapter itself. Okay. So all that which we are seeing around us, the manifestation is really, in a sense, created by us. Okay. How is it created by us? The goods and the bads we have understood are created by us. Right? We just understood it because of our own lack of control on our own senses. We are creating the goods and the bads. Okay? Around us. Now, I am going to say that how do I therefore act good or bad? I also act good and bad because I don't understand what am I trying to do. I forget what I am trying to do. Is it the right way to do it? I am forgetting that. I am losing my awareness. What am I losing my awareness in? I am losing my awareness in my distracted mind, or let us go a little further, or I am losing it in the nature of my own ego. Right? I wanted this to be done like this by the maid. The maid did not do it and went away. So I am now upset. That upsetness will manifest itself when I meet her next day, but it may also manifest in 30 seconds when there is a phone which comes and somebody is asking for something and you are now taking it out on that person. Right? All this happens naturally. Right? Just because I got distracted, disturbed, got my ego in the middle, I have created that situation where now I have reacted negatively. That karma is going to take its own process because now this person on the phone has also become my enemy. Tomorrow, what I tell to the maid is a different story. That will happen tomorrow. Okay. Now, I create this entire world in that format. How do we find that we find like minded people? Because we start finding that they're associating with the same types of things. Then we say that all this group is not necessarily right. I need to move into something better. Then I say I have to walk away from this mindset, attitude. And that's how I take on new attitudes. Because I find that this is dysfunctional, and I need to move into something which is functional. Okay. As soon as you have an awareness that I am finding this to be an area which distracts my mind, which is causing anguish to my mind, which is causing fear to my mind, which is causing various such aspects. Okay. I have to make a choice. Okay, both at the micro level and at a higher level and a higher level and a higher. Okay, in terms of levels means that you are taking it up just on a one-to-one basis, event to event basis to groups of events basis. Okay, or you're seeing behavior patterns, so to say, in terms of patterns which are emerging out of it. Okay, and we can operate at a micro level, and we can operate at the patterns level, and we can operate at the meta level. Are you seeing all this happen, right? Now, we don't get into this sort of specifics because we are not people who are interpreting what the text is saying. That interpretation is being left to each of us as individuals, trying to apply what is being said in Gita to our own life. Because the purpose is not only to improve what we're doing currently in our lives, but using that to move forward so that our behavior patterns, our mindsets, our karma, and therefore how do we generate something which is going to be helping us. And we are trying to understand aspects which are binding us, controlling us, are making us do all sorts of things which we don't want to do at times. Okay, suddenly get caught up with something and we'll get disturbed. We're trying to figure all that out so that we can come out superior in terms of our own understanding and actions which we need to take if we need to realize that ultimate. If we are not interested in realizing that moksha or the ultimate, then maybe we'll realize something else. As we have read, we have also read. Okay? It is not that everybody who's reading this is in one janam itself realizing the moksha. But there is a huge possibility that we'll be there. Okay? So that is the purpose with which we read a text like Gita. Because Gita is offering you all the practical aspects, the conceptual aspects, the philosophies, and what is the basis and what it is in terms of the practical aspects. Okay? However, if you read philosophy then or Upanishads, then you'll only get the philosophies. Okay? So this is where we are. And you have to look at each stuff which he's saying and then see that whether this is making sense. Because if we let go of everything and say it is all, he's decided everything, then what are we doing? Is the question, why have we done anything? And why should there be a shastra to tell you what to do? If Bhagwan believes that he's doing everything, then why is he giving a book to tell you what is right and what is wrong to do?
Because he has written the play. The director gives instructions to every character.
No, but he's asking you to therefore become right or improve yourself. That is what the Shastra is saying. Let's use the logic, right? Why is there a book which tells you what to do and what not to do? Because some people will pick it up, right, and want to do something right and understand that there's something wrong. He's only given the book. The choice is up to you. If you say that is also written by somebody else,
everyone is free to interpret it in its own way.
also, yeah,
And
apply at least even if you don't interpret it in your own way, at least you can apply it in your own life in your own way.
Actually, this, my mind, this discussion, this has happened earlier also.
Yes.
Right in the beginning,
Yes,
when Arjun is there,
yes,
what is it? Who are you to kill anyone?
yes,
I've done it, it's me.
yeah,
But even then, he's telling Arjun to do his duty and do the right thing.
correct,
Now, Arjun can say, if you are doing everything, then who am I to fight you?
correct.
So I'm saying this discussion actually is
It's been
very
there,
true.
it's been done and finished with.
Actually, I have no free will at all.
No, that is not right.
ये वही सब कर रहे हैं तो मैं
That
कौन?
is not right. That is not right, because Arjun, why would he give Updesh to Arjun? If he's already killed, why is he wanting him to fight? Why is he saying, Arjun, you please stand up, pick up this bow and arrow, and start fighting the way you are supposed to be fighting as a warrior?
but he showed him that I've already killed all those people.
So what?
So
So
why
that-
was that?
So what? Let's understand that also. Okay, now we'll understand that now from this entire thing of the next 4 or 5 shlokas. We'll get to understand that.
What I'm trying to say, that nothing is in our hands. Okay, absolutely. He has written the script. He's put us in a particular slot. He's done it all, and we have to act our role to the best of our ability, whatever ability he has given us.
इसको इस तरीके से भी तो देख सकते हैं प्ले है प्ले में everybody wants to play the lead role no naturally यदि कोई play
No, let's just leave it to the simple thing. If Arjun was told that everybody has been killed, then why should Arjun stand up and use his bow and arrow?
That was to put his conscience at ease, that you are not killing your guru, you are not killing.
No. So follow that thought process, which Krishna is going to take you through, as he has taken Arjun through. It's the same question which is there in Arjun's mind, but he follow it in the way he is telling you.
So when he shows that they are already dead, then Arjun doesn't remember that later on, I think.
No.
Yeah, that
No,
picture.
no. So let's go through it. No? Why are we sort of muddling it up with various things? We have just done one section. Karma is an aspect of cause and effect. Okay, that's why I stayed with cause and effect to make you understand that we are responsible. Please ask the question. No problem.
Yeah,
Please ask.
I think we've understood karma. We definitely
So well, let's wait to understand the rest.
Karma we've understood. The cause and effect we've understood for sure.
So it's cause and effect.
Yeah, that we've understood.
And this is a major part of our existence. Transcending this space of cause and effect to that which is beyond this is what we're trying to understand. Okay? And how we do it, how do we understand it to do it, is the question.
Once we attain moksha, then we are outside of this
Yeah,
cause and effect.
yeah.
na?
We are therefore in a state that we are out of the dream where we are seeing all actions taking place, and we've woken up from this dream to say, I understand this. That's it. That realization is moksha. The transactions which are happening as a consequence to my identity, which I have created out of my own ahankar, ignorance.
See, we're back to square one.
I am purposely going back to sleep because I want you to follow it.
Because
I am
original-
repeating it endlessly,
the
and I'm going to.
ahankara.
Huh?
Who put the ahankar in me?
Yeah, you put the ahankar in you.
Who am I? No, I'm nobody to put anything.
Yes, you are. Suppose you. Why don't you drop it?
It's not in my power.
It is in your power.
He has given me ahankar. He has given me a temper. What am I to do?
You have created all this out of your own self because you are thinking in relationship to the objects of the senses which you are relating with constantly.
Why did he not give me a very sweet temper?
He is not giving you anything. It seems as if he is giving you something, which is what is there in the next 5 slokas. Why is that word no written there with the underline? Rahul, refer to that particular shloka where the no is written with underline. Okay? Shloka number 706. Know that all beings have taken birth from these 2 things, Kshetra and Kshetra. Okay?
If I say so, it will again be a bit of a disruption.
No, I'm going to answer that question. Okay? You have to know this as if
It's a prescription.
No, it is as if. Okay, to make us understand the power of that which is that ultimate. He is talking about that manifesting itself and showing you that how he is in everything. And then at the end of it, he will tell you, which is in the shloka number 12 of this particular chapter itself. What does he say? Let's read that also just now. And I want to read this because this is very important, because you are going round in circles. Okay? Right? Now I'm skipping it. I'm going to shloka number 12. Okay, so yeah. You take the sheet. No, you can take the sheet. It is not as if it's something so. So it says here, and I'm reading the relevant portion, okay? Even though they are born of me, okay, I am not in them.
Isn't there a contradiction?
Yeah, so I'm coming to that contradiction, and I'm asking you to understand that contradiction and clarify it in your mind. Okay? It's shloka number 12, and I'm reading the paragraph number 2. Is everybody on the same page, on the same paragraph? Yeah. Even though they are born of me, I am not in them. Now, what does that mean? Understand this first. Because I'll move fast, then you will say again you're repeating the same thing and I don't understand. That's why I'm going through slowly. When you are giving birth to a child, are you in the child? No. Do we understand this clearly? Right?
That's physical. We are saying that the Atma is there in every one of us.
We'll come to that as well. So first you understand this much, right?
If I am not in the child, my Atma is not the child doesn't have.
I am not in them. The way I am in them, I will understand in the next few sentences. Meaning, just as the worldly human beings are under their control, okay? These worldly human beings are under the control of those things, okay? But they are in me, meaning they are under my control. So he is saying in the last few shlokas that I am in all these things. मैं जल में रस हूँ, मैं पृथ्वी में सुगंध हूँ. Okay, if you have read the shlokas, if you have read it, otherwise we should be reading it sequentially. Okay, but since we are getting into a bit of a format where we want to stay with the point and just not move from there, so I am coming to the point itself as it is given in the text.
इसमें तो कोई doubt ही नहीं है. When he is the creator, he has created the flower, the perfume, the everything. इसमें तो कोई doubt नहीं है. We are not disagreeing on this.
Okay. Everybody agrees with this, or there is something which is different in this?
Everybody agrees.
I think
No.
the Gita is quite clear.
He is not the flower, he is
No, he's the creator of the flower.
He is not directly.
that's I
That is what I am trying to make you understand.
That's again I think our sense of
I am trying to make you understand that itself. ये जो प्रकृति है उसको उसने create किया, and the rest of the stuff has happened on its own. What is the process by which it is happening is all I am trying to explain in the shloka number 4 and 5 and 6.
So he holds the process patent, but not the product patent.
Well, I don't know those words, so I'm not going to comment. Okay.
is interesting.
No, that process patent also he is let go of later on. Okay. Since you are asking me this question, you're asking me this question, so that process patent is also gone. Now let me explain. Okay. But they are in me, meaning they are under my control. Then what does he say after that? Just as the rope is not in the snake. क्या रस्सी जो है सांप में है क्या? जब सांप को देखते हो, मैं पूछ रहा हूं आपसे, सबसे क्लियर है सबको ये? क्या हम जब सांप देखते हैं क्या उसमें रस्सी दिखती है आपको? नहीं. इस संसार में जब संसार देखते हैं तो क्या उसमें हमको दिखता है कि ये भगवान है, जो ईश्वर है, जो परमात्मा है? नहीं. ठीक है, ये क्लियर हो गया. ठीक है. क्या वो रस्सी कुछ करती है जिसकी वजह से संसार जो स्नेक है कुछ करता है? नहीं. तो ये एकदम क्लियर उदाहरण है. देयर इज नथिंग लाइक परमात्मा हु इज रनिंग दिस शो. आर यू गेटिंग इट क्लियरली? क्या रस्सी जो है वो सांप को चला रही है क्या? नहीं चला रही. आप सोच लो फिर, क्या रस्सी सांप को चला रही है क्या? नहीं. तो क्या ये भगवान इस सारे संसार को चला रहा है क्या? है ही नहीं. इस प्रकार the association of this Brahma is just as something which is existing by itself, and we have superimposed on it the nature of snake.
That means we're on autopilot or something.
No.
It's ignorance.
No, for autopilot is not there. It is a play of your actions, cause and effects which are leading to it. That's all there is to it.
No, that part is the karma, that part we
So
understand.
leave that aside, karma for anything.
Cause and effect.
It is cause and effect.
Yeah, like if we get angry, if I'm getting angry at someone, I'm causing some effect to happen.
No,
And that
let's
relates to them also.
let's just go back to it. It is, and let's read the second part of the sentence also, so that I am not. Just as the rope is not in the snake, the water is not in the sand, in the mirage.
That is all.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And the world is also not in Brahma. And nor is the Brahma in the world. And that is what is being said clearly. ये जो ब्रह्म तत्व है, ब्रह्मा जो है, ये विलक्षण, totally opposite of this universe. It is that it is assumed, and I'm using the word assumed. Okay, please understand just now. Okay, that it has been superimposed on Brahma. Rajiv, agreed?
Yeah,
Rahul, agreed?
it's-
One minute.
If it's an illusion, then how can Brahma be?
Sorry?
I'm saying
Yeah.
if the whole world is an illusion, it's my illusion.
One minute.
Brahma-
Whole world is not an illusion.
Yeah.
The superimposition is an illusionary format, and therefore it is an illusion.
The place where I have the difficulty is the last sentence of the second paragraph,
Please read it.
where it goes on to say, meaning they are under my control.
Yeah. Right. So the word which has been used here, why this is being clarified, is that कोई चीज मेरे में होती है तो मैं उसके वश में होता हूं. ठीक है, मेरे में यदि अच्छाई है तो मैं उसके वश में होता हूं. मेरे में कोई गुण होता है इस प्रकार का या अवगुण होता है कि गुस्सा है तो मैं उसके वश में होता हूं. मेरे में कोई समझ होती है तो मैं उसके वश में होता हूं. ठीक है, वश में होने का मतलब माय कंट्रोल, अंडर माय कंट्रोल, अंडर माय इन्फ्लुएंस. ठीक है, तो कहा गया कि भगवान जो है सब चीजों में है, तो क्या वो भगवान उन चीजों के अंदर he is being controlled by them? No. Right? In the same way, he is saying that they are in me. which is to say that they are under my control. Okay? He's saying that as Vasudeva, as a manifested God, Sagun. Okay? And therefore, the next statement again, when we go into Nirgun, it is very clear that that Nirgun has got nothing to do with this universe, whether inside or who's outside, कौन चला रहा है नहीं चला रहा है, he is separate, is totally different. Okay, how do we reconcile these two? Right, that's the next question which comes up, right? And that is what the attempt is, to be able to understand that as we go along. Sagun has been created by us to help us to understand what we have to do and how do we have to get there. And in this Sagun itself, Vasudev himself says that I then give you the moksha. That ability to understand that all this is only a dream. Now let's say, suppose I am in a dream. How do I get out of the dream? I can fight an entire battle within the dream and I'll not wake up. That happenstance of is being left to Vasudeva. Now, how does it do it? He says, you do all this, then I will do it. Right? वासुदेव सेज मेरे में इस तरह से भक्ति करो, इस तरह के कर्म करो, एकाग्र हो, ये सब करो. Am I right or wrong, Rahul? See, understand, I'm saying the same thing as I started in the beginning of, let's say, the first chapter, second chapter. Okay.
So what I'm saying is, Gyan leads you nowhere. So just go to the bhakti route. I
think you need to listen to what we are saying. This particular aspect is very critical.
Please. So I'll only be confused.
Well, I don't think so, but I think you are very. हाँ, आप भक्ति नहीं कर सकते ना. बात तो इसीलिए कह रहे हैं. यदि वो कह दे कि आप मेरे को रोजाना ऐसे ऐसे करके करते रहो और दिन में 50 बार ऐसे करो, आप करते रहोगे, उससे क्या निकलेगा? कैसे निकलेगा तो समझना पड़ेगा ना. नहीं तो आप कहोगे कि मैं तो अंधविश्वास में, सारा देश अंधविश्वास में चल रहा है, लोग चल रहे हैं तो हम भी चलते रहते हैं. ठीक है ना. अंधविश्वास तो हम करना नहीं चाहते ना. वी नो इतने सारे रिचुअल्स हैं हमारे इसके अंदर, कितने लोग किस तरह की क्या क्या चीजें बांध के बैठे हुए हैं. पर यदि हम समझ के करें तो कुछ उसका आउटकम निकलेगा. ठीक, ये तो हम वैसे ही करते रहेंगे.
Why don't you explain why Adi Shankaracharya wrote this Bhagwad Gita? What was his essence in starting and giving this?
हाँ, तो जो आदि शंकराचार्य,
who was he? What was his life? What he has done?
तो आदि शंकराचार्य के बारे में पढ़ने के लिए सब नेट पर लोगों के पास है. If they are interested, I can also give them books to follow. There is no issue. We understand that Adi Shankaracharya came in the 8th century AD, some 13 centuries back, and he came because this thing was very prevalent of Andhvishwas, led by whatever circumstances. The second thing which was very prevalent was the Buddhist thought process, which said you go to a monastery and sit down and spend so much time, okay, and you will be realized in meditations. Okay, so people were walking away from Grahastha ashram. So there is a vyavastha. There was a breakdown of certain norms of society which was taking place. And he put it all together, and people were following various gods of all nature. They didn't know what to do. In Vedas, which is where those texts were already there, Upanishads, all that was given. He just put it together. Just like in Gita. Gita has been given by Krishna Bhagwan. He just made a commentary on top in Sanskrit, and that is called Shankar Bhashya. That is what we are reading. Those people who wish to look at this same Gita from a bhakti perspective, where they are not going to talk to you about Nirgun Nirakar, the Gyan aspect. They are asking you to follow it blindfold. Because Krishna Bhagwan has said, so follow it. Okay? Here, what is happening? He is saying, I am Bhagwan. But I want you to understand this also. Because this is the real nature. The ability of people to explain that real Nirgun, Nirakar and create this association between the two is limited. People are not doing it. Even today, the people who are talking about Gita will give you a version of Gita, but if you go into Shankar Bhashya, what Shankaracharya is saying, he will give it with the Nirgun and Sagun put together. It becomes more difficult to understand. I'm totally in agreement, And you've been with this for 3 years now. Okay? You read a Hindi text, it seems complex. If you read an English text, it seems complex. Because anybody who's writing it with completeness, what I mean is that he's actually putting down whatever Adi Shankara has written, then it becomes complex. But if he skips it, like today, if I skip this shloka 4, 5 and say, ये परा है, ये अपरा है, इसमें भगवान सब में है और इसमें है, इस प्रकार से, I can walk away very easily. But to come to this aspect, that how he says that I am present in everything, and simultaneously telling you, this Brahma is neither inside anything, nor is anything inside it. They are two independent things. Understand moksha, that realization of moving away from the cycle of birth and death, is only if you can get out of the dream. Okay? And therefore, this explanation uses the analogy of the snake and the rope, uses the analogy of the mirage and the desert. It is just an analogy. When we start walking the path and we start aligning to what he's saying, then the realization happens that yes, this is true. Today, I am assuming that snake and rope analogy, I am questioning also sometimes. You're right. It will be questioned because I'll go into various aspects. My mind is such, no, that it'll dissect the snake and dissect the snake and make all sorts of things. It will say how much was the light, not light, where was it, where was I walking, all those things it will create, the context around it. Okay? When you do, all that is fine. But it is just an analogy. When you walk that path, you realize it's really operative. We are totally responsible for the actions. Otherwise, there is no existence. Now he is going to say something. That doesn't mean that he's saying that in that sense. He's saying it in a different sense. That's what I mean to say, and you have to understand it. You have to follow it. नहीं तो हम फिर वही जैसे कोई गांव में है अनपढ़ आदमी, वो कहता है कि मेरे को बोल दिया ऐसा भगवान ही करता, पत्ता भी जो है भगवान की वजह से हिलता है, कोई चीज नहीं होती है. अरे वो चीज बोली गई कि एक पत्ता भी भगवान के बिना हिलाए हिलता नहीं है. और उसका कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, उसका लिमिटेड कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है, किस चीज को समझाने के लिए है वो कॉन्टेक्स्ट. हम उसको मान लें और हम कहें कि हम तो बैठे हैं, फिर तो कुछ नहीं होगा ना,
दुनिया नहीं चलेगी.
हाँ, फिर आप देखिए संसार चला रहे हैं, आप ही चला रहे हैं ना, कैसे चल रहा है. नहीं, हाँ, बिलीव नहीं, आप कर रहे हैं कुछ, उसका आप आउटकम देखते हैं ना.
बट फिर मुझे ये भी महसूस होता है कि आई एम नॉट इन चार्ज. ये भी है.
देखिए, यू आर नॉट इन चार्ज is something you have to define for yourself. If you are making a certain outcome happen,
No. See, I know I'm not in charge, but that doesn't mean that I do nothing. I have to perform my role as best as I can. No. But ultimately, the result.
So understand that as you go along, as to how you are in charge and how you're not in charge.
वो तो अर्जुन को बोला था ना,
हाँ,
कर्मण्य वाधिकारस्ते।
हाँ, देखो जो उन्होंने सीधे सीधे डायरेक्टली एवरी अदर चैप्टर में बोलते जाएंगे कि तुम इस प्रकार से करो, इस प्रकार से युद्ध करो, ये सोच के करो। इसका मतलब ये थोड़ा है कि सबको क्यों मार दिया तो मैं आपको अब बैठ जाओ जाके करके। नहीं तो वो कृष्ण भगवान जो है करते ही नहीं। So I'm sorry for those who are not directly in.
Argument, we're stuck on the same shlok.
I'm not bothered. That's not an issue at all. No, but I'm sorry to other people that those who have not followed the argument and they've got lost in the argument, that is where I'm saying my apologies, because the purpose of any discussion is to be able to bring those points across and clarify everybody's mind. If it gets limited to only one person or two people or three people, then I think it is not okay. So I'm happy to have this sort of a discussion, except understand that I am not a guru. Please understand, okay? I am not here to resolve all your issues as a guru. Please understand this, okay? You are walking your path, your conscious steps to be able to figure out what is and how it is being to be implemented, done, okay? You are responsible. गुरु होता है कोई, वो कहेगा जी हाँ मैंने आप पे ऐसे हाथ कर दिया, नाउ आपको समझ आ गई.
Are you helping us?
I'm hardly able to do that also. I'm just saying.
You're just helping us understand the Gita.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's fine.
You are
That's
helping us what is written,
Yeah,
interpreting in the Gita,
Yeah, yeah.
but you are not responsible for what is written in the Gita.
And you're not responsible.
Also, I can only try. I can.
Yeah.
I also. I can explain that. Rahul, I can explain that. But I think if you walk the path, you will also understand. Okay, that's the point. Yes.
This was a good discussion, actually. It
No,
was.
everybody is loud and like.
I think it was a good discussion.
No, a good discussion.